What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got best versus worst records in the NFL. Let's check this out.
Unbelievably great NFL record. There's also one that is unbelievably
The fuck?
embarrassing. These are the best
Always
versus
shoot, bro.
worst NFL records ever. And first up is Patrick Mahomes. Because believe it or not, Patrick Mahomes holds one of the most embarrassing records a QB could have.
What?
The longest sack of all time.
Oh, I remember this shit. Bro, what the fuck was he trying to do, bro?
I mean, at least Jerome Baker got the other side of that record. He was hunting Mahomes down like a heat seeker.
He was not outrunning
This
Jerome
next
Baker.
record is for the guy who spent his career catching them. Because Devin Hester
boy,
holds
Devin
the record
Hester.
for the most return touchdowns ever. This man was so good that other teams would legit kick the ball out of bounds just to avoid giving it to him.
Pressure kick, not even close. And now Hester, after
That nigga was so different,
he's
bro.
gonna run it out.
For every
He's gonna go
unbelievably great
all the
NFL
way.
record.
Touchdown Chicago.
And the Colts have had a hard time all season covering kicks.
This in the Super Bowl, right? Yup. Goodbye.
Here he goes.
Goodbye.
Hester inside the 30.
I know it was hell playing against that nigga, bro.
Away for a touchdown.
That last one was in the Super Bowl, and he took it 92 yards to the house.
Damn.
In total, Devin took home 20 touchdowns on a return.
Sheesh.
Seriously, the type of thing you only see in movies. And this next record is something you'd only see in Charlie Brown. Because Sean Landetta's claim to fame is the worst punt of all time. See, a punt is basically the one play designed not to screw you. Yet, Sean Landetta still found a way when he let loose a
Bro.
record
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
designed not to screw you.
How the fuck was this safe back then, gang? Cause you bound to lose an eye playing with this type of face mask. Like, I don't care if you're a kicker or not.
Sean Landetta
You
still
bound to
found a
lose
way
an eye
when he
playing
let
like
loose
that.
A record negative 7-yard punt.
Huh?
From his end zone. Bears look at good field position. Oh, he missed it. He missed it. On the field.
How the fuck do you even do that, bro?
Dude just stood there like a deer in headlights. If you ever saw Justin Tucker
That
play,
boy
he
JT.
would die right on the spot. Because Justin Tucker basically turned kicking into witchcraft over
Facts.
12 years. And
Before last year. Last year was
he only
hell.
missed 51. But that's not even the wildest part. Because he also holds the record for the longest kick ever. And
Yeah.
it was
I feel like Brandon Aubrey definitely gonna break that one day. I ain't gonna hold you.
It bounces off the
Nigga.
crossbar.
I almost broke my nose celebrating when he made that field goal, bro. Like, oh my gosh. Nigga, I was celebrating so much I punched myself in the face by mistake. No bullshit.
Slapping it from the parking lot? That's why he's the GOAT. And Ndamukong Suh
Hope he still
was
make the
also
Hall of Fame,
just
though.
not
I ain't
for
gonna hold
something you'd want to show off. Because while some
all
guys
those
might feel
allegations
hitting
and shit,
the
you know
hardest or
how that
taking home the
get.
most money, Ndamukong Suh was doing the exact opposite. He was hitting the hardest, but his biggest flex was how much he got fined for doing it.
Oh, here we go.
Own ass man choking other players is crazy,
Austin
bro.
Howard in this. Let's see if we can see any punches thrown.
Unimpeded. Defense.
That
Decline.
right there will be bringing
Defense. Number
a
93.
little less of a paycheck.
Wasn't this the game where Alonzo knocked out Joe Flacco?
After him is DeAndre Levy. He broke the tackle. What a run, and he got hit hard. Flag on the play.
Damn.
That is unnecessary. And by rule of five,
Unnecessary, bro. What?
DeAndre Levy. He broke the tackle. What a run, and he got hit hard. Flag
What's unnecessary about this? He just made the tackle.
on the play.
What?
That is unnecessary. And by rule of foul.
He destroyed
Yeah,
his
he was a
ass,
demon.
too.
So much
How was that
he
unnecessary,
holds the
though?
record for the most cumulative fines for dirty plays. 700,000.
Damn.
More money than most people make in 15 years. But Adrian Peterson ran more in one game
AP.
than anyone in history. As a rookie in 2007, Peterson faced the San Diego Chargers and just turned them into traffic cones.
Peterson into the open. Midfield. 45, and there he goes. Touchdown.
What the hell was the secondary even doing? I mean, he doesn't even get touched on this play.
Peterson in the ground game. Cuts inside a block. Inside the
I'm
40.
gonna
Up
take
the
it.
sideline, and he's gone.
By the way, this was only his 8th career game. So not only did he make his career high just halfway through his first season, he also set the NFL record for most rushing yards in the same game with 296.
Yeah.
But while Adrian made history running through defense,
I feel like that record is definitely breakable. But like with I don't know, bro. Like I feel like running backs could definitely break that record nowadays, especially like I say running backs like Bijan or like Jahmyr Gibbs. That record definitely
Paying
getting
the
broken
books
one
by
of these
throwing the
days.
ball straight
100%.
Because he has the record for the most interceptions thrown in the Super Bowl. And unfortunately for Rich, the setup for this disaster could not have been more perfect. Because in 2002, Rich's team, the Raiders, were the favorite team by miles and miles. Not only did they have the #1 offense in the country, Rich was also an MVP QB. They had Hall of Famer receivers, and they were going to be playing their former coach who got traded to the Buccaneers. It was supposed to be part destiny, part revenge match, part flex. Instead, it was all parts pathetic.
Gannon flushed out, chased by
Damn.
Snyder, and it's intercepted by Dexter Jackson. Barber blitzing, and he gets picked up, and it's intercepted again by Dexter Jackson.
2 picks in the Super Bowl is crazy.
Goes right through that double team. 3rd and 18, and this is going to
Bro, this quarterback just throwing freebies, man.
Interceptions. 3 of them returned for touchdowns. By the end, the Bucs defense looked like they knew the routes better than the receivers. And if you thought that was brutal for a QB, you won't believe the record that Derek Thomas got against the Seahawks. Because during their 1990 game,
Derek Thomas is so
absolutely
underrated,
leveled
bro. He's
QB
not talked about
Craig.
enough. I'm gonna keep it a
He's back to
bug.
throw. Hit the
Ooh,
goal line.
shit.
Ball chart free. Touchdown, Kansas City.
But he didn't just stop there. He went for 2, then 3, then 4, all the way up to 7 tackles in one game. Dude was straight up harassing the QB. I don't know what kind of pre-workout this man took, but he was on an absolute sick one. He actually almost
test
had
that
8
nigga.
sacks, but missed Craig by a hair as Craig tossed up the game winner. But even though Thomas took the L, his record for the most sacks in a game still stands today. The same goes for the
7 sacks in
Lions
one
for
game
the
is
most
crazy.
Imperfect season.
That boy
The
Megatron.
Browns may have done it more recently, but with a 1-15 record the previous year, their meme-worthy season was seen a mile away. And that's what makes the Lions version that much worse. Because in 2007, they actually weren't god-awful. Yeah, 7-9 isn't exactly masterclass material, but it's not a sign you're about to set a record for being bad either. Plus, they had Calvin Johnson, one of the most talented receivers ever. And how could you possibly go wrong with that? Well, this is how.
Attempt in an NFL regular season game, and it's a 62-yard touchdown to Michael Jenkins. Michael Bishop in 2000. And we're Patriot great. That's quarterback. Here's Turner. Busting tackles for 66. Still the first. Turner again. His second touchdown.
Damn, who the fuck is 33?
Matt Ryan was choking in every game that mattered. He was responsible for giving the Lions the worst NFL season ever. And it just snowballed from there. They were going through
Just win one game is crazy.
Defense gave up a historic 517
I wouldn't be
points
surprised the
this year.
Jets got
But the
that
best part of the season,
sign this year, bro.
display.
Niggas 0-7. That's
He's
crazy.
out of bounds. Poor guy, I don't even know if he realized it.
When the announcer says "poor guy" like a
And,
disappointed
and,
man,
and this the same dude who be giving bullshit ass takes on ESPN and shit.
Poor guy, I don't even know if he realized it.
when the announcer says "poor
That
guy"
nigga Dan
like a
Orlovsky
disappointed
cannot
dad,
be a real
you know
person,
you're
bro.
cooked. And by week 16, announcers were barely paying attention to them at all. Fans literally went to games with bags over their heads.
Y'all think Jets go 0-17 this year?
31-21 loss to the Packers. The Lions became the first team in modern NFL history to go 0-16.
That is
The Browns may
crazy,
have thrown a
bro.
parade for going 0-16, but they only got to be chill about it because Detroit did it first. And it's actually crazy Detroit pulled it off. Because with Calvin Johnson, it should have been the easiest season of their lives. I mean, he was literally nicknamed Megatron.
I mean, not one
Once he
person
got
can
chance
just
to
carry a
actually do
team
well,
to
he
success,
was
bro.
unstoppable.
Especially how bad the Lions were. Keep it a buck. This play was crazy. And triple coverage is insane.
Essentially became throw it near Calvin and pray. Unfortunately, he was wasted. on the
I ain't gonna lie,
Lions'
bro. I
chance to
feel
win.
so bad for this new generation, bro. We got to witness Megatron, Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, Larry Fitzgerald. Who else? Brandon Marshall. Some more names I can't think of right now, bro. This is the best area for football, especially at the wide receiver
At
position.
least he got the record
Oh
there for
my
most
gosh.
receiving yards in a season with
Shit was
1,964.
different.
And at that point, he even needs a Super Bowl. Almost every team has made it, but no one has topped Megatron's record. While Calvin was
It's gonna
breaking
get broken
records
one
and
day,
celebrating,
'cause the league
Bears
just
and
continue to
Chargers
get pass
set one
happy
that should
each
be
and every
erased
year,
from
so.
history. See, not many people know
JSN might
this.
have a chance to
Football's
break
a
it this
game where
year.
you're actually
Who knows?
supposed to score. Obviously, everybody does know that. But in 1998, the Raiders and Chargers must have missed the memo. Because during their game, they made the record for the most combined punts in a game. 27 total punts.
Damn!
16 for the Raiders, 11
Offense
for the
some
Chargers.
shit.
A spotted in history for the record.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was so boring, it makes watching the Panthers feel like primetime TV. There was only one touchdown. And yeah, great, the Raiders won. Yippee. But they won off an absolute paintball.
That'd be the type of game you'll see in London nowadays.
How either franchise
bug.
even exists. Meanwhile, Michael Strahan was busy setting a record so dominant, it's still pissing off people today. Because for almost 20 years, the single-season sack record belonged to Mark Gastineau at 22. And since Mark never made it to
TJ
the
Watt
Hall
and
of
Michael
Fame,
Strahan
he
still
held
tie
onto
for that
for
record,
dear
by the way.
life.
Somebody that had more sacks than anybody on that team.
I remember this
played
clip.
Their butt off. I don't know why I'm not in the Hall of Fame.
So, you can only imagine his reaction to the record being broken. Because in 2001, on the very last game of the
Yo.
season, Michael Strahan went in on Brett Favre.
Sad.
Strahan gets the sack. He gets the record.
I mean, I don't
nuts
know if you
all
could
in
really
his
call
face.
that a sack. Favre basically just got shoulder tap while falling, but it still counted. And Strahan finished that year with 22.5 sacks, taking home the single-season record for himself. And Mark did not take that well. To this day, over 20 years later, he's still so pissed, he actually confronted Brett Favre over it.
I'm gonna get my sack back, dude.
Yeah, I saw this.
Well, I don't care.
It like, bro, it's never that serious. This nigga is really butthurt about a NFL record. You know the saying, records are made to be broken, nigga. That includes yours. Like, come on, gang. It's really never that serious,
You
bro.
hurt me. You
Like,
hear me?
oh my god, bro got his
You really
panties
hurt
all
me.
in the twist.
You hurt me, Brett.
We gotta get back to this, Brett. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you gotta love Brett just walking away like, yeah, cool, bro. Archie Manning probably would have wished he could have done the same.
Yo.
Instead, he was chained to the worst winning percentage ever. And honestly, it's kind of tragic. Because Archie was a good QB, Pro Bowl selections, named NFC MVP, and was viewed as a strong leader. The problem was, he was on a Saints team that was so bad,
Damn.
that God himself couldn't save them. As a starter, Archie went 35, 101, and 3. That's a
Oh my
percentage of
gosh.
26%, giving him the lowest record ever for a quarterback. And to make things worse, even if he wanted to leave, he couldn't. Free agency didn't exist back then, so he had to just stick with that swamp-ass team for 90%
that's
of
gotta
his
suck.
career. Luckily, he was able to work his sons to the bone so they could get the trophy that only existed in theory to him. But he's not alone, because the Vikings are still waiting too. In the meantime, they've just been cursed with the closest, craziest games imaginable. This is the franchise of the Minneapolis Miracle, the Miracle at the Met, and complete nail-biter playoff games. So, it would only make sense that the Vikings would hold the record for the biggest comeback in NFL history. And of
That
all
shit was
teams,
insane.
it
I remember
against the
watching it
Colts in
live, bro.
2022. It should have been a routine.
I don't know
afternoon.
how the
Beat a
Colts
4-8
sold this
Midwest
shit.
team, clinch the NFC North.
And of course, look who at quarterback, bro.
Beat a 4-8
Bro, Matt Ryan, gang, on the opposite end of two major comebacks, gang. That is insane. 28-3 and 33-0.
33-0 into the second half.
That is
Kevin
nasty
O'Connell
work.
told us it's been good to coach through adversity. Well, down 33-0, that's a whole lot of it.
I mean, it basically was a funeral. They were getting beaten by a team with less than half the Viking wins. The scoreboard looked like a Madden game versus your 5-year-old cousin, and fans were running out like it was Walmart on a Black Friday. In the Vikings locker room, the energy wasn't much different. Then, cornerback Patrick Peterson stepped up to the offense and said, "We're going to get stops. You just need 5 touchdowns." That's nothing. At first, everyone just stared at him. Not even the Vikings could pull off something like that.
Peterson said all we need is 5 touchdowns. I thought he was being sarcastic.
But he was being dead serious. And somehow
why he
that
wanted to
one
go,
loss
man.
changed the course of NFL history. The Vikings started chipping away at the scoreboard in the second half.
Wide open.
Perfectly delivered.
That was a spark that we needed to get us going, and I was happy I was able to do that.
Kirk Cousins was chugging straight offs and hit a career high for passing.
Oh, you had Hawkinson. Ooh.
Instead, he's got Jefferson.
Yeah, he hit Gilmore with some shit on that
Dalvin Cook had a
route.
64-yard touchdown
I think it was a
pass.
whip route, I believe. Bro, Gilmore got fucked up.
And is loose. Dalvin 20 to the left.
Oh, where's Dalvin Cook at now?
5
He
touchdowns.
out of the league?
The defense was blitzing Matt Ryan like he was back in the Falcons Super Bowl all over again. By overtime, they were officially tied up, and at that point, it was just light work for the Vikes. They marched down the field, set up a three-pointer, and Greg Joseph nailed it with 3 seconds left for the win.
Like,
And
that's
that-
crazy. You only put up 3 points in the second half, bro, including overtime. How the fuck does that even work, bro?
They were officially tied up.
That is
It
crazy.
was just light work for the Vikes. They marched down
Niggas want to score 33 points in the first half, but when it comes to the second half, only put up 3 points.
left for the win. And that is
Nasty.
the record for the greatest comeback in NFL history. Honestly, I can't wait to see them come back from 40
I couldn't
down
imagine
to
shit.
5
I thought my Ravens be blowing some big
It'll
leads.
just prove that the Vikings
He ain't never
haven't
blown no
changed
lead
since
that
the
big.
60s. Just
33
like when they
nothing?
drafted their very first quarterback, Fran Tarkenton, who ended up changing the entire NFL. See, they needed someone to lead their new expansion team, and they were hoping that Fran would be the right fit for the job. Instead, they got a quarterback so unique.
Fran the man
offensive linemen
Tarkenton.
seriously give up blocks just to watch him play. At first, football purists hated it, and defenders thought it was annoying. But the targeted scramble was so new, they couldn't help but watch. Unfortunately for Fran, he might have scrambled slightly too much, because by the end of his career, Fran had lost 50.
The fuck was that?
He might have scrambled slightly too much. By the end of his career,
Hey, bro, what the fuck?
1 yards to sacks. And at that point, you better be off measuring it by 3 miles. Bro literally changed how QBs move by pulling Looney Tune-ass routes every game. But while he made football look like a fight for survival, the all-time points leader made it look like a walk in the park. But it's not who you'd expect at all, because it's not Sherry Rice, Brady, or Manning, or even an offensive player at all. It's a kicker? Yeah, Adam Vinatieri has more
Oh, yeah, I'm not
points than
surprised.
anyone in league history.
He gonna be. Is he already in the Hall of Fame?
Piling them up quietly either. This is the guy who hit 2 game winners
think so,
in
I don't know.
2 different
If
Super
he's not,
Bowls
he
for the
definitely deserved to be in
Patriots.
there.
Then he went to the Colts and hit 3 for 4 in that Super Bowl. Dude is the definition of having ice in your veins. By the time he retired, he had a genuinely unbelievable 2,673 points for the record. All done by a guy who barely spent more than 2 minutes on the field each game. But if anyone proved that skill doesn't line up with actual time on the field, it's Nathan Peterman.
Oh god.
is that guy?
Yeah, I'd never heard of him either. Across 8 years,
Goat.
he's only played 15 games and only started in 6 of them. It's not hard to see why, because his debut with the Bills was so bad, he literally set a record.
And throwing off the hands of DeMarco and interception.
I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Set a record.
That's not even on him, honestly. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You gotta catch that.
And they do. He floats one. And that's
That's
intercepted. 19 yards. And
Damn.
that's the 5th interception today.
He put up 5 interceptions in just the first half. They tried to save the game by benching him, but 5 picks in 30 minutes.
I mean, like, it
is
don't
something
help when
the
you
Vikings
under
couldn't
pressure
recover
like that.
from. But when Emmitt Smith was on the field,
Oh
he
my
never even
gosh.
had to worry about losing. Even though he wasn't the biggest or the fastest, he was by far the most determined. Like, he'd play and train through injuries, study famous running backs, and even set an insane goal before entering the draft to be the NFL's all-time leading rusher. And he's living proof of achieving something you set your mind to. Because by the time he retired, he had a record of 18,355 rushing yards. He basically ran for the
Yeah, I feel like
Dallas
nobody's
Stadium
breaking
in
that,
Tokyo.
bro.
And even though he was a head down,
Like the career for running backs don't last that long, so
something iconic when he
I feel like that might stand forever.
I had allocated 4 different uniforms. So what I did was, wore 2 pair of pants that day, wore 4 different jerseys, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, wore 4 different helmets, 4 different pairs of shoes, 4 different pairs of gloves, and 2 pairs of socks. The first quarter uniform, I gave it to Jerry. The second quarter, I sent to the Hall of Fame. The third quarter, I kept for my own charity. And then when I broke the record, I kept for myself.
Hey, bro, that's different right there. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
He knew
What?
that he was just gonna obliterate the record, and he wasn't the only
Oh my
player
gosh.
with record-breaking numbers. Because George Blanda was
Nah,
due
that's
just
tough.
for something way harder to watch. Because while most QBs are terrified of throwing even 1 interception, Blanda was just handing them out like party favors. And he loved it so much, he actually got an NFL record for it: 42 picks in just 14 games.
Damn, nigga.
3 picks a week. Get this. He did
Bro,
it
think
every
he
week.
Geno
In
Smith.
fact, they did well that season. Like 11
Bruh,
rebounds.
42 in one season is outrageous, bruh.
Touchdowns and threw for nearly 3,000 yards. George was literally playing roulette with his own arm every time he threw. And because
Bro
of his
just said,
legit
fuck
skill,
it.
I don't think
A
this
receiver
record's
down
ever
there
gonna break.
somewhere.
These
Go and
days,
try and make
if
a
you
play.
got even close to 42 picks, you'd be benched. And yet, the old George Blanda seemed to only get better with every interception. So in a way, George Blanda might end up having one of the most impressive records ever too. But not nearly as impressive as what Eric Dickerson
shit.
pulled off in 1984.
That boy Eric Dickerson.
Already hard. You gotta take the snap, dodge 300-pound rhinos, break through a wall of linebackers, and still have enough gas to outrun the safeties. So not only was Eric doing that during the most violent period of
his record should have been broken last year by Saquon, but
and he did it in a 6'3",
he didn't want to play. So, well, they didn't want to play him.
Anything like this in their lives.
If I was Saquon, bro, I would have definitely played. You know what I'm saying? Cause like breaking the record is one thing, but doing it on a team that did not want you, that would have been so much down, bro. I'm already knowing.
Any monster move that fast. Eric owned the field every game.
So he should have did it. That would have been a crazy moment because he definitely would have got it on him. 1,000%. They ain't want to risk no injuries. You know what I'm saying? That's respectable.
But for every record of pure dominance, there's also a record of pure pain. And nobody knows pain better than the Buffalo Bills. See,
0-4 in the Super Bowl.
The Bills were unbelievably wrong. They had a roster stacked with Hall of Famers.
That is
played
crazy.
with a no-huddle offense and got 4 straight AFC
And it was
titles
back
in
to
a
back
row.
to back,
If you do
too.
the math on that, you already know where this is going. Because although they went to every Super Bowl after the playoffs, they also lost every Super Bowl after the playoffs. Legit, like 4 years in a row of straight L's. And it would be one thing if they weren't 4 chokes, but some were just embarrassing. In 1991, they lost 20-19 to the Giants after the most heartbreaking, potentially game-winning missed kick.
Wide right.
In 92, they just lost flat out 37-24 versus the Redskins.
Tough.
The Redskins are the world champions.
The crowd counting down the clock is absolutely ruthless, but not as ruthless as what the Cowboys did to them in 1993 when they beat the Bills 52-17. In the middle of setting a record for the most bowl losses, the Bills actually set another record in this game, and not a good one. They had 9 turnovers, the most in
9
Super
is
Bowl history,
crazy.
which brings us to the final and probably the saddest loss of the record. Because in 1994, the Bills were actually up 13-6 at halftime, but the 90s Cowboys were basically a team of Terminators, so they absolutely stormed back to win 30-13. Losing on the biggest stage in the world 4 times in a row would make me take the fast way down a building. But hey, no other team has made it even 4 times in a row, so at least they got that. But Drew Brees took consistency to a whole nother level.
I'd rather not make it to the Super Bowl at all than make it 4 times in a row and lose.
I know every football
Like,
fan
bruh.
thinks they could have made that pass, but realistically, they couldn't even hit the.
You know how demoralizing that gotta be?
This is only the main concern off field. In a game, there's a full defense, weather to worry about, receivers dropping passes, and sometimes your own team forgetting the block. Put that all together, and then imagine hitting 1 every single game for 4 years. That's what Drew Brees did.
The shoulder shake, pump fake, and it's caught down the sideline. Touchdown.
Hey, is Drew Brees eligible for the Hall of Fame this year?
Before Brees, though, Johnny Unitas.
If so, he definitely getting in.
Games over 50 years. Decades of QBs came and went just because it seemed like one of those unbreakable records.
Him and Larry. Hey, nigga, if Larry Fitzgerald don't get into the Hall of Fame this year, bro, I'm rioting. I don't care.
Brees came in and absolutely.
Because there's no way nobody in that class should be in there over him. I'm sorry.
Drew Brees to Devery Henderson. Drew Brees setting one of those records for the ages.
Didn't matter if it was pouring rain or if his receivers were eating donuts during the play. He always puts up points on the board, making a streak longer than Unitas, Manning, and even the GOAT himself. But Brett Favre put up just as many points, though he just wasn't picky about which team caught them.
Yeah, turnover machine.
336 interceptions.
To his right, throws back across the middle, and he's intercepted. Quick count there. Barnes throw is intercepted.
Who's a modern day comparison to Brett Favre, bro?
This man was straight up gifting touchdowns to the other
Definitely not
team.
Geno
He still
Smith.
came out on
I'm telling you
top.
right now, bro. All that nigga do is throw picks. He don't be throwing no touchdowns.
Fumbles by a QB, 166. And in one game, he pulled off giving it up 6 straight times.
Down 14-3 and struggling. Favre, what in the name of Dave Craig is going on there? Ball's loose again. The Bucks getting all kinds of pressure, and it's loose one more time.
That should be impossible. But for every smooth brain pick he had, he also had a sling 40-yard laser straight into max coverage. And that shouldn't be possible either. In a way, it's almost more impressive he holds records so bad and still ended up being one of the greatest players of modern football. But Jerry Rice is one of the greatest of all time. And if football had a Mount Rushmore, Jerry Rice's face would be carved in at 4K HD. Because Jerry is undoubtedly
Who on y'all Mount Rushmore for the NFL?
Ever.
I still have to pinch myself. I can't believe some of the things I have done.
I ain't gonna lie. If I had to choose my Mount Rushmore, Tom Brady, obviously. Ray Lewis. Shit. Damn. I'm trying to think of like players that I actually watched. I'm not just gonna go off based of, you know what I'm saying, how good they actually were. I'm trying to go off people that I actually watched. Shit. I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna put Julio Jones in there. And then damn, bruh. And I'll put Ed Reed. I'll put Ed Reed. That's my Mount
What
Rushmore.
goals have you set for yourself?
Well, number one, I would like to be an all-time receiver.
And he did just that. He didn't just get there from average hard work. He got there with more talent than anyone else in workouts that gave his own teammates a run for their money. And Jerry was as relentless on the field as he was off of it.
First time I tried to run this hill, it kicked my butt. And I said, I have to go back and conquer that.
Every practice rep, he sprinted to the end zone like it was Sunday. Every route could cut defenders in half. And when the ball left the QB's hands, it wasn't a 50-50. It was 100-0.
And he goes over the middle, and the pass caught by Jerry Rice,
There's
and
no
Rice
way.
gets away.
Oh my gosh.
And Rice is going to get in for the touchdown.
Yeah, he's tough.
Rice.
Damn.
out. He could work it.
Oh my gosh, what a block.
Who chases him out of bounds.
He looks to his second option, going deep. He's got
Bombs.
touchdown.
After seeing that, yeah, he's the greatest receiver to ever do it. But his records speak for themselves anyway. 22,895 receiving yards and 197 touchdowns. To put that into perspective, the next closest to his TDs is 50 behind. And for yards,
Damn.
5,000. It's pretty safe to say that no one will ever touch that. But David Carr was out here setting records no one would ever want. Because when the Houston Texans expanded, touched that. But David Carr was out here.
I ain't gonna lie, fam. That's a questionable salute. I'm gonna keep it a buck. If you know, you know.
Setting records
That's
no one would ever
that's
want.
questionable,
Because when the
gang.
Houston Texans expansion
I'll
team
not
drafted
go
him, he was
hold you.
probably expected to ignite the franchise. But what he didn't realize is that they also drafted loaves of bread for their offensive line. And without players that could even come close to protecting him, he ended up being sacked for a record 76 times.
Seems like the Texans always had O-line troubles, bro. We seen it with Deshaun Watson. Definitely seen it with C.J. Stroud.
Runs into his own guy.
Runner doesn't feel the pressure.
Poor guy was getting lit up more than a crash test dummy. You almost start feeling bad until you realize he never learned his lesson. Because he played 4 more seasons with them and got sacked 173 more times.
Damn.
Respect the loyalty, but you gotta know when to move on. Sometimes loyalty pays off. Because in 2016, during his
Ben.
12th season with the Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger pulled off something no other
Ugh,
quarterback
bruh.
has ever done. 6
You
touchdowns
need his
in
ass.
back-to-back
I'm sorry.
games.
Like whoever designed these shits, bro, you must be colorblind. I'm like, this is atrocious. Like, why couldn't you put like no black and yellow pants with these? Like, why we got skin colored pants with black and yellow Bumblebee jersey with black and yellow Bumblebee socks? That shit did not look right at
In
all.
Back-to-back games.
Ew. Like, bro.
And that is 6 touchdown passes for Roethlisberger for the second week in a row.
It's hard to even call it a record because
You
no
ain't
one's
gotta
gonna
show
beat
this.
that thing in my lifetime. Honestly, back-to-back Sixers is nothing compared to this next record. Because in the 1940 championship game, the Washington Redskins got the biggest, worst blowout.
Damn,
in
this
NFL
shit was
history.
recorded with a
The Bears
pinky
straight
toe.
up vaporized them.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
11-0. See, earlier in the season, Washington had beaten the Bears 7-3, and it was a
I
drawn-out
can't see for
defensive
shit.
slugfest.
Oh my lord.
Redskins
Bro, technology that came a long way, bro.
7-3 on the questionable last play of the game when Sid Luckman threw a perfect pass to Bill Osmanski in the end zone. And
Who
that
got the
would have won
rock?
the game for us. But the defensive halfback threw both his arms around Bill Osmanski's arms, and the ball hit him in the chest, and the umpire, the referee, did not call a penalty.
Losing out a bad
Okay.
call is tough.
Like,
Like,
bro.
began when the Bears complained to the
Okay.
press about their loss. Because the Redskins coach didn't respect that, so he just rubbed it in.
As a result of that game,
they running
my
tush push?
My good friend George Marshall called us crybabies and a first half team. naturally
What the
in
fuck?
the build-up for that particular
I can't
game.
see
Back in
shit.
those days, all of a sudden, a crybaby was basically a slur. So when the Bears met the Redskins
Slur
in the
is
championship,
insane.
they unleashed hell. And after every touchdown they scored against Washington, they ran over to the sideline saying, "Who's the crybaby
Oh my
now?"
gosh,
Objectively,
bruh.
that's hard. But what's
Nick,
even
like,
harder-
bro, this is literally how people was watching football back then, bro. Like, no wonder why a lot of these old folks wearing glasses, bro. Like, oh my
saying,
gosh.
"Who's the crybaby now?" Objectively, that's hard. But what's even harder is that the final score was
Them niggas was
73
squinting like
nothing.
hell at the
Washington
screen.
got flattened so bad they became a permanent punchline. But one QB spent 22 years turning everyone else into the punchline. And of course, it's Tom Brady. Listen, we gotta talk about him because Brady doesn't just have one or two insane records. He has like all of them. Well, not literally, but when you see how
Most
many
passing
he has,
yards,
it
most
genuinely
passing
makes your head
touchdowns,
explode.
most
He's got
completions,
the
most
career
Super
passing
Bowls.
yards, passing touchdowns, regular season wins, games played by a QB with a single team, Pro Bowl selections, passing attempts and completions, game-winning drives, fourth quarter comebacks, playoff wins, playoff games started, playoff passing yards, and passing touchdowns, Super Bowl
damn.
appearances, Super Bowl wins, and Super Bowl MVPs.
Hey,
By the way,
bruh.
that's like leaving out 25 others, but one more that you have to see to believe: the most touchdown passes in one quarter.
Fifth touchdown pass.
And like, and what's crazy, niggas still debating is Eli better than Tom Brady. That should not be up for discussion, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know why people keep trying to have that debate, bro. And it mainly be Giants fans trying to find that debate, bro. Tom Brady is far and better than Eli Manning. Just because he beat Tom Brady in 2 Super Bowls don't mean he's better than him. Like, you understand this is a team sport. Like, come on, gang. Come on.
By the way, that's like
Come on,
leaving out
bro.
25 others, but one more that you have to see to believe: the most touchdown passes.
Giants
in
fans are
one
still trying to debate that shit to this day.
Touchdown pass
Insane.
of the quarter. That's a record for any quarter ever.
If there are any GOAT doubters left after seeing that, well, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but you have a smooth brain. I mean, this guy basically gave
It was
us Super
actually that
Bowl
Giants
to one of the worst
defense who
teams
clamped
ever.
down
Tampa
Brady,
Bay's drought
not
goes
Eli.
all the way back to the 20th century. See, when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers entered the NFL in 1976, they weren't exactly Super Bowl ready. Honestly, they weren't even
fuck
game
was
ready.
that?
Back then, when an expansion happened, the only way to get new players was to draft the worst players from every other team. And the result of that
Huh?
was basically a combined IQ score of 6.
Ugh, what the fuck?
Had an injury, and my dad called him over and sent him to the doctor. Said, "I want you to get that X-ray." And he came back about an hour later after practice, and my dad said, "Did you get the X-ray?" He said, "Yeah, but it doesn't feel any better."
That was the level of mental firepower they were
What's
working
up,
with.
Coach?
And honestly, that's the only way to explain the record they hold, losing the most games in a row in NFL history.
One of his many famous quotes was in that first year when we had been particularly ineffective as a team, and somebody asked him, what do you think of your team's execution? He said, "I'm in favor of it."
It really doesn't get worse than that, aside from the record, because they lost all 14 games in 76. They went on to lose 12 more in 77. All other teams were terrified of losing to the Bucs because of what it would mean for their franchises. And then, on the second to last game of the 77 season, it finally happened. The Bucs won their first ever game to, of course, the New Orleans Saints.
Wow.
We won the game. We didn't know how to act. You know, we were over there wondering, well, what are we going to do now?
Well, what they did was ride the high, ride it to another win against the Cardinals. And it was such an upset that both head coaches of the Cardinals got fired.
Damn.
One team that's never even heard the word loss. And they probably didn't even know what it meant.
What
In
the fuck?
1972, the Miami Dolphins achieved a record that everyone thought was impossible. They did it with the wildest
perfect
journey you
season?
could imagine. Because it started with irony. See, prior to 1972, the Dolphins beat the Chiefs in the longest football game ever. A game that lasted 7 hours. So
Nah,
everyone
bro.
low-key expected the
7 hours? What? The fuck were y'all doing the whole
Chiefs to come into
game?
the season with a revenge game against
7?
Miami. And well, nope.
Miami had easily thwarted the revenge.
I feel like the most you'll get out of an NFL game nowadays is probably like 2 to 3 hours.
And their legendary no-name
You
defense
talking about
was introduced to
7?
the league. So why was it called that? Well, literally because it was made up of complete nobodies. Kind of insulting in hindsight, but if anything, it made them work harder. And after that win, Miami just kept rolling. They demolished Houston. And just 3 games in, they were already the only undefeated team left in football. Their defense was unstoppable. QB Bob Greasy was letting it
Miami
fly.
Dolphins
There was
fans
nothing
still
in the
brag
way.
about this to this day,
A
bruh.
record Orange Bowl crowd of 80,000 watched in silence as Bob Greasy sat on the polyturf with a fractured leg.
Yeah, the man leading the Dolphins' undefeated charge was suddenly gone. and their season should have ended right there. But just when all hope was lost, the most out-of-pocket savior of all time joined the team, Earl Morrall. This dude was way past his prime, and yet he subs in, completes 80% of his passes, and keeps the dream alive. Suddenly, this washed-up NPC-ass dude is leading the charge, and Miami just goes on a tear. From there, it was just win after win after win. By the end of the regular season, they had already achieved a perfect 14-0 record, led the league in both offense and defense. And they did it all with G.I. Joe at the wheel. But their perfect year wasn't over yet. They beat Cleveland in the divisional round, but in the AFC Championship, the Steelers came at them hard.
The Dolphins managed a couple of first downs, however, and on 1st and 10 from midfield, Morrall went to the air. The first down pass designed to catch the Steelers secondary napping. But Morrall overthrew Twilly right into the waiting arms of safety Glenn Edwards. The offensive line turned Zonka loose, and the team began to move.
It didn't take long for the Dolphins to genuinely worry, so head coach made the craziest decision of the year, bench Morrall and bring back a healed Bob Greasy. It turned out to be a solid move. On his first pass, he dropped a 52-yard bomb. Miami held on, and they took it 21-17.
Ooh,
By the
that
time
nigga
the
landed
Super
on
Bowl
his
came
face.
around, it seemed like destiny. Reese went 6 for 6 and hit the first touchdown, but the defense honestly carried.
Down the middle, overshoots his mark, takes Scott, has the ball. Scott to the 50.
Oh, shit.
Draw to Brown, he smelled that one out and dropped him for a loss at the 34.
And they carried them straight to the dub. And with that Super Bowl win, the Dolphins became the first and only team ever to get a true perfect season. Clown on the Dolphins all you want, but ultimately, they still hold the best NFL record of all time.
And you can just see how long ago that was, right? And they still brag about it to this day, bro. Like, oh my gosh. But hey, man, shit, I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Y'all let me know what other NFL videos I'm to react to. Without further ado, I'm out.